Contentment. That is the goal of life. Welcome again to another episode of the 1% in Recovery podcast, where we encourage you to laugh every day. Work hard in recovery, work hard in your relationships, work hard in your job, your business, school, just work. And to love unconditionally. Just put much more love out there and watch love tenfold return to you. Always remember, your EQ is your IQ. You cannot outthink an emotional issue, and recovery is beautiful. We encourage people to join the Facebook group Recovery Freedom Circle. It is a community where we help people through the steps through recovery. We put down goals, dreams, struggles, so we can all participate in each other's victories and help each other through those difficult times. So join the Facebook group Recovery Freedom Circle. Now let's jump into this week's episode of the 1% in Recovery. We are situated in the iconic Beverly Hills Hotel in Los Angeles. Such a glorious May day here in Los Angeles. You can see the sun is out, perfect Southern California weather, as we talk about an important topic, contentment. A lot of people venture into recovery. They try to stop addictions, and it's always why. Well, really the goal in life is to be content each and every day. Buddha had it right. When people talk about pursuit of happiness, that is not the way to go, because happiness is a fleeting feeling. You cannot be happy every day, but you can be content every day. I'll give you an example. Had a wonderful weekend. I'm content on how the weekend went. Earlier this year, as a lot of people know, on February 2nd, my mother passed away. Now, it's a sad event. There's grief, and the family dealt with grief in different ways. But there was always the feeling of contentment because my mother was at peace. And that is so important, especially when the people go to the other side. You want them at peace. You know, my brother, me, and her two granddaughters were there at her side just the way she wanted. And so even though I was sad and grieving that day, I was also content because it's what she wanted. And I could know that there was nothing left unsaid. So I encourage people to always search their feelings, process their feelings. That way you can have a full day. And especially now, the world, here in 2025, it's been chaos, uncertainty, people getting overwhelmed, not just about money, just about livelihoods, just about your own life, your health, and all the other stuff that's going on in the world. So it is so important to feel content, to know where you're going. And that's why we always say, we start step one by listing your goals and your dreams and what you want. We also encourage you to constantly speak into your subconscious on what you need to do each and every day and in your life. Your subconscious rules your world, not your conscious mind. And the other thing is you've got to set a schedule. You've got to know what you're doing each day, each week. That way you can stay on track. And that way you live content. Some people say, well, I like to be unpredictable. I like to kind of fly on the seat of my pants. That may work for a day, a week, even a month. But in the end, it is not a solution to life. Now, we all need flexibility. You cannot be rigid. But within a set plan, there's always leeway. And that's where it leads to contentment, because there's always things that are unexpected, either with yourself or what you're doing, or with the people that you're doing things with family, friends, business contacts, clients. So you've got to know where you're going, act it out, as well as know that there are those unforeseen days or unforeseen things. So I want to keep encouraging people, be content. That's how recovery works. You figure out what you need to do daily. Yes, you need to stop your addiction. But after that, you need to start getting in touch with your feelings. You need to establish a connection with God. You need to start establishing a schedule. You need more discipline, because that's the worst thing about addicts. And you need to start to get out of the isolation and the loneliness. And that way you can feel fulfilled, because you're interacting with other humans, with other people that bring you joy, whatever you're trying to do. So we are going to conclude this podcast from sunny LA, sunny California, and I really hope that everyone can have a glorious day filled with contentment, because you know where you're going and you're working hard and you're doing the next right thing. It's as simple as that. With that, we're going to conclude this episode of the 1% in Recovery.